I'm going to go ahead and call this meeting to order. We'd like to welcome everyone to the city of Palatka, November 5th, 2020, City Commission meeting. At this time, we're going to have our Pledge of Allegiance and our invocation. If everyone would please stand. I'm going to ask Mr. Wayne McLean if he would lead us in the pledge and invocation.
Be an honor. Please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Lord, we come to you tonight, ask your guidance and blessings upon this group. We thank you, dear Lord, for all the first responders for our community and all over the United States. We thank you for our governmental leaders. We would ask that you continue to put your healing hand on all of us and bless these proceedings that are about to take place. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you again, Mr. McLean. Roll call at this time. Commissioner Boyle. Present. Vice Mayor Brown.
Present.
Commissioner McCaskill.
Here.
Commissioner Campbell.
Present.
Aaleeyah Hill, all members are present and we have a quorum. And just for those, just for a reference point, based upon our ordinance, we have the ability to have a quorum present and have a member who can appear virtually, as long as there's a quorum present. And so Commissioner Campbell is appearing with us virtually at this time. I also want to take this time, as we're recognizing members, to also recognize Will Jones, who's our new commissioner-elect, and will take office in January of this year. So let's welcome Commissioner-elect Will Jones. And give him a round of applause. Should I say Will Slurb Jones? So moving on to approval of the minutes. And we have approval of minutes from our October 22nd meeting. Has everyone had an opportunity to review the minutes?
So moved. Second.
Motion on the floor. And a second, is there any further discussion? Questions called. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Moving on to Student of the Month under our public recognitions and presentations. Under Student of the Month, Commissioner Borum, it looks like you're with me again every month.
Look like it, huh?
So Commissioner Borum, I'll let you start out with some words of wisdom as we get ready for our presentation.
Words of wisdom. You want me to do words of wisdom?
Just give a quick message to the students.
Basically, I'd like to just commend the students for all the hard work they've done to obtain that educational achievement. And I just like to have them to continue on, because half of the battle is just believing in yourself and the other half is just continuing the hard work. So that's my words of wisdom. Again, I commend all the students, everyone who took part in their academic achievements, the teachers, administrators, and their parents. That's all I have. Thanks.
Thank you. I appreciate it. So the first group we want to recognize is going to be our parents. And so we have some parents who actually joined in on the Zoom as well. And we want to make sure we recognize all the parents, the family members, and the extended family members within the community, because it takes a village to raise a child. And we want to thank you all for your hard work and your dedication to these young folks. And so let's give them a round of applause to all our parents. Secondly, we want to thank the educators who are also on the Zoom call as well. Zoom meeting, I'm stuck in Zoom call. And so we want to thank the educators. Oftentimes, we never say thank you enough for the sacrifices that you make. You're often overworked and underpaid, and we just want to make sure that we take the time out to thank you for the sacrifices that you make and making sure that our children have a quality education here in Putnam County. And in most cases, you end up being surrogate parents to them as well. And so we want to thank you for all your hard work and dedication to our young people. Let's give them a round of applause. Now for the moment that we've been waiting for. Student of the Month for November 5th is now canceled. We'll move on to our presentation. Student of the Month for November 2020. Brown and Pierce Elementary School, Grace Reynolds, 5th grade. CL Overturf 6th grade center, Tatum Wright. Children's Reading Center Charter School, Jacob Faulkner. I love that smile. The H. Miller School, Cameron Rush. James A. Long Elementary School, Anthony McCaskill. Jenkins Middle School, Aaleeyah Hill. Kelly Smith Elementary School, Bryson Helms. Mellon Elementary School, Ashton Joseph. Mosley Elementary School, Josiah Thomas. Palatka High School, Kaya Luckadoo. Pinal Baptist Academy, Alyssa Pritchard. Putnam Academy of Arts and Sciences, Wyatt McGahey. Your granddad corrects me and gets my pronunciation correct. Putnam Edge High School, Haley Wilson. And again, let's give a round of applause for all our students of the month. We are so proud of you and the work that you're doing, even throughout this pandemic. Some of you are at home, some of you are in the classroom, and we know that it's difficult when you got to make those type of adjustments as students. But you guys have set the example for what leadership is in our community. And I always want to leave every student with the same thing that I learned. And we said it every day when I was in the 3rd grade in Miss Green's class. I am somebody. If my mind can conceive it and my heart can believe it, I know I can achieve it because I am somebody. You guys are somebody special. You're somebody, we love you. We're just excited about what our future holds in this community when we've got students like you that are dedicated to their education and they're dedicated to proper behavior and to making things better. And so we just want to thank you from the bottom of our hearts for the work that you do. And we look forward to seeing you back here again and sitting in our seats. So again, thank you all. Next up, proclamation for National Hospice and Palliative Care Awareness Month. We can have our representatives from hospice. If you want to join us, actually you can join us right in front. I'm on video, so I'll stay here. So if you guys want to just come right in front, that way everybody can see you in TV land, and I'll move over to the dais. I'm gonna move over to the podium. This proclamation reads as follows. Whereas for 41 years, Haven has provided comfort and dignity to thousands of people in North Florida, allowing them to live their last months, weeks, or days comfortably with people they love. Whereas Haven utilizes an interdisciplinary, team-oriented approach to treatment, including expert medical care, quality symptom control, and comprehensive pain management as a foundation of care. Whereas beyond providing physical treatment, Haven attends to the patient's emotional, spiritual, and family needs, and provides family services like respite care and bereavement counseling. Whereas Haven provides community-based palliative care, which delivers expertise to improve the quality of life and relief from pain and can be provided at any time during an illness. Whereas every year, 1.5 million Americans living with life-limiting illness and their families receive care from the nation's hospice programs and communities throughout the United States, including Haven. Whereas Haven is an advocate, an educator about advanced care planning that helps individuals make decisions about the care they want. Whereas the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services have pledged to put patients first in all of its programs, including hospice, ensuring a coordinated and patient-led approach to care, protecting patient choice and access to individualized services based on patients' unique care and needs and wishes. Whereas Haven is a source for patients, their families, and their healthcare providers to find answers to their advanced illness challenges, in addition to providing comfort through the passionate delivery of hospice services. Haven offers advanced care planning, palliative care consultations, and transition services with a patient-centric focus. Their motto is, when health becomes a challenge, we will be your haven. For more information, visit www.beyourhaven.org or call 800-727-1889. Haven has been serving advanced illness needs in Florida since 1979 and has been licensed a nonprofit since 1980. Now, therefore, I, Terrell Hill, Mayor of the City of Palatka, together with members of the City Commission, do hereby endorse and proclaim November 2020 as National Hospice and Palliative Care Awareness Month in the City of Palatka, and encourage citizens to increase their understanding and awareness of care at the end of life, discuss their end of life wishes with their family, and observe this month with the appropriate activities and programs. And witness where I'm here to set my hand and cause to be affixed the seal of the City of Palatka forward on this 5th day of November in the year of our Lord 2020.
So moved.
There's a motion on the floor.
Second.
There's a second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Motion carries unanimously. Let's give them a round of applause.
You ready? Okay, let's go on to 1-1.
Everybody's smiling.
All right, here we go.
Who's gonna speak?
You gonna speak? Danny, you gonna speak?
Danny, want to say anything?
Yes, I do. I never really understood what Palatka meant or what it did until 2 months ago, when I, in frustration, called on Haven to come and help me with my wife. I had not been able to get my wife to take a shower for 2 months. I had been unable to do a number of things with him. Maybe familiarity breeds contempt, but she thought I was making her do things she didn't want to do, and she learned the word no. Did it very well. I called on Haven Palliative Service. They came to the house. The first time that they met her, they asked me to excuse myself and go hide somewhere, and I did. They weren't totally successful, but on the second visit, they performed a miracle. Tot McKinnon, nurse's aide, I recommended her for 8 of the month for October 2nd. She had been giving my wife a shower, or not giving her. Somehow, and I haven't learned how yet, she gets her to go in the shower, and she can. Showers, soap and wash off. She looks better, she feels better, doesn't know why. But I have to tell you, without palliative care, I would be a worse case than my wife for medical care needed. And I'm really grateful for Haven, for what they have been able to help me with and what they've done for my wife.
Again, thank you, Haven, for the work that you do in this community. And thank you, Mr. Martinez, for sharing with us. Many people in this room understand the importance of Haven and hospice to our community and palliative care. And it's testimonies like that which allow the rest of our community to truly understand how important things are when your family reaches a point of need. And so again, we just thank you for that. At this time, we want to take a moment of silence for former Pomona Park Mayor Alonzo Middleton, who will be laid to rest tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. He's been very active with a total of 46 years as a councilman and a mayor in Pomona Park. And we want to make sure that we take this moment of silence. So if we can we all just bow for a moment of silence for Mayor Middleton? Thank you. Next up is our Veterans Day proclamation, November 11th, 2020. We've got some special veterans here in the room with us. If those veterans who are assembled with us, if you can just state your name and tell us what branch you served in and your years of service, we definitely appreciate that. I'll start over here.
I served in the U.S. Army from July 1946 to January 1948. I enjoyed it. I did not enjoy being sent to Camp Blanding while in high school for the draft examination, which meant I walked through a door frame and they say you want me. I joined in July 46. Good experience. They paid my education. That was another good experience. U.S. Army.
My name is Vito Russo. I was in the Army from 83 to 86.
Our veterans for the city of Palatka, our employee veterans are as follows. Airport, John Ewell, U.S. Air Force. Robert, U.S. Army. Fire Department, Jared Bradley, Marine Corps. Kenneth Sutton, U.S. Navy. Matt House, Marine Corps. Black Police Department, Officer Mark Austin, U.S. Army. Shirley Edwards, U.S. Army. Justin Hill, U.S. Army. Lieutenant Demetrius Johnson, U.S. Naval Reserve. Sergeant David Lazo, U.S. Navy. Streets and Utilities Maintenance, Raymond Pernick, U.S. Air Force. William Neely, U.S. Army. Wastewater Treatment Plant, Brian McCann, U.S. Army. Community Affairs, Eddie Cutright, U.S. Army. Again, we want to thank each of you for your service to this country and to this community. We also want to thank your family for allowing you to make those sacrifices that so many live for and enjoy the freedoms from. So again, thank you very much. This proclamation reads as follows. Whereas throughout the rich history of the United States of America, patriotic men and women have taken up arms and sworn an oath to defend our nation and have established an honorable tradition of dedicated services. And whereas our soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, Coast Guardsmen, and merchant mariners, many of whom paid the ultimate sacrifice to ensure our country remains a land of the free, have made our city, county, state, and nation immensely proud. And whereas the patriotism of these in uniform who continue to defend the timeless truth and great freedoms of which our nation was founded will continue to serve as an inspiration for generations to come. And whereas we will always honor and support the selfless sacrifices and courage of our military spouses, children, and families. Whereas the state of Florida is recognized as one of the most military and veteran-friendly states in the nation, with more than 1.5 million veterans living in Florida. And whereas Veterans Day is an annual opportunity to honor American patriots who answer the call of duty to protect our nation and preserve our freedoms. Now, therefore, I, Terrell Hill, Mayor of the City of Palatka, Florida, together with the members of the Palatka City Commission, do hereby endorse and proclaim November 11th, 2020 as Veterans Day in the City of Palatka, and we encourage citizens to recognize the fortitude and sacrifice of our veterans. And with this whereof, I'm here to set my hand and cause to be affixed to seal the City of Palatka, Florida, on this 5th day of May in the year of our Lord 2020. I'll entertain a motion.
Second.
Motion on the floor. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries unanimously. At this time, salute you, veterans. And to our senior veteran in the room today, and also Mr. Russo, we're going to get you a copy as well. I want to present you with this proclamation. Thank you very much.
They got a hold, it's got a hold in.
Next up is a proclamation for Thanksgiving, November 26, 2020. Ms. Krantz.
Whereas on Thanksgiving Day, we remember with reverence and gratitude the bountiful blessings afforded to us by our Creator, and we recommit to sharing in a spirit of thanksgiving and generosity with our friends, neighbors, and families. And whereas nearly 4 centuries ago, determined individuals with a hopeful vision of a more prosperous life and an abundance of opportunities made a pilgrimage to a distant land. These pilgrims embarked on their journey across the Atlantic at great personal risk, facing unforeseen trials and tribulations and unforetold hardships during their passage. After their arrival in a new world, a harsh and deadly winter took the lives of nearly half their population. Those who survived remained unwavering in their faith and foresight of a future rich with liberty and freedom, enduring every impediment as they established one of our nation's first settlements. Through God's divine providence, a meaningful relationship was forged with the Wampanoag tribe, and through their unwavering resolve and resilience, the Pilgrims enjoyed a bountiful harvest the following year. The celebration of this harvest lasted 3 days and saw the Pilgrims and Wampanoag seated together at the table of friendship and unity. That first Thanksgiving provided an enduring symbol of gratitude that is uniquely sewn into the fabric of our American spirit. And whereas since the first settlers to call our country home landed on American shores, we have always been defined by our resilience and propensity to show gratitude even in the face of great adversity, always remembering the blessings we have been given in spite of the hardships we endure. This Thanksgiving, we pause and acknowledge those who will have empty seats at their table. We ask the Creator to watch over our service members, especially those whose selfless commitment towards serving our country and defending our sacred liberty has called them to duty overseas during the holiday season. We also pray for our law enforcement officials and first responders as they carry out their duties to protect and serve our communities. As a community, we owe a debt of gratitude to both those who take an oath to safeguard us and our way of life, as well as to their families, and we salute them for their immeasurable sacrifices. And whereas in the midst of all the chaotic events in our nation and around the world, we are reminded that security and liberty continue in our nation only because of the Creator's loving care. United together as one people in gratitude for the freedoms and prosperity that thrive across our land, we ask the Creator for protection and wisdom and for opportunities this Thanksgiving to share with others some measure of what we have so providentially received. And whereas, let us give thanks to our Creator for the countless blessings we enjoy. We are able to wake each morning and exercise the right to life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness, to worship freely and openly, and to go through each day without fear for our lives. And whereas, furthermore, with freedom comes the responsibility for obedience to God and His commands. and we bend our knees to ask the Creator to revive and uphold godliness in the lives of men and women in our nation and our community. With grateful hearts, we praise God for his long-suffering, kindness, mercy, and goodness. Now, therefore, he, Aaleeyah Hill, Mayor of the City of Palatka, together with the members of the City Commission, do hereby endorse and proclaim November 26, 2020 as Thanksgiving Day.
I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
The motion on the floor is second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Ms. Denise Burnley. Your organization is the epitome of what was just read. And we give and we care about our community. And so on behalf of the city of Palatka, we want to present you the need with this proclamation. And we want to thank you for your service in this community. As Ms. Krantz was reading that proclamation, there were probably about 3 times that I wanted to say amen. I think that it truly depicts what Thanksgiving is about in this community and around this country and around the world. And, you know, we're just grateful to have the opportunities to come together in unity when so much separation is within our community as a whole. And so organizations like Feed the Need are just one example of how Palatka and Putnam County comes together to work for those in times of crisis, in times of need, to show what small town America is all about. And so we just appreciate you for the work that you do. And we definitely appreciate this community as we go through some trying times. But we're thankful for the opportunity to learn every day and to just really enjoy our blessings, because there's so many people who wish that they would have more time to do the things that we're doing right now. And so we've got plenty of time to get it right, but we've got to make sure that we do it as we're all on one accord and that we're loving our neighbors as ourselves. And so again, just thank you. And we're looking forward to Thanksgiving and the opportunity for the community to be unified and galvanized. Next up is public comments. Public comments will be limited to 3 minutes. No action will be taken on topics of discussion. Anyone who's here live who wishes to speak during public comment, please fill out your yellow speaker's card so that you can be called up. Also, if you are with us virtually, you can dial 386-329-0100, press extension 0, and we will patch you through. If you're on YouTube Live, please use the chat function. And so again, if there's anyone at this time, we'll open the floor for public comment. Is there anyone here for public comment? I've got you on for number 7. Again, 329-0100 if you're here for public comment. Ms. Robinson, do we have anything in the chat?
We don't at this time, Mayor.
Okay, Ms. Courtney.
Yes.
Okay, so we don't have anything on the phones at this time. There's nothing here. We've got a couple speaker cards for item 7 on the agenda. We'll close public comment. We'll move forward to our regular business at this time. Under regular business, item number 5 is consent agenda. We've got that one item on the consent agenda, and that is the adopt resolution number 2020 R99, requesting a waiver in permit fees for St. Johns River Water Management District fiscal year 2020 through 21.
So move.
Second.
There's a motion on the floor and a second. Is there any further discussion on the motion?
Question.
Questions called. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. And again, we want to thank St. Johns River Water Management District for being a great community partner to the city of Palatka. And they have been extremely generous and instrumental in our ability to start to correct infrastructure problems as we move forward into phase 8. So again, thank you again, and let's give a round of applause to St. Johns River Water Management District. The regular business. Epic Cure, information regarding purpose and mission, and a request for donations, Sonny Mulford. And also Ed Killebrew. You want to come forward at this time?
Good evening. My name is Ed Killebrew. I reside at 146 Barden Estates Circle, Palatka, Florida. Not being vain here, but most of y'all in this room know me, if not all of you. I got involved with Epicure back in March of this year. But before that, Epicure is all about food rescue. It's all about getting food to people that need food. And I don't mean, just this about families, feeding families. My part in this food rescue started about 8 or 9 years ago. My daughter was teaching a kindergarten class, and she came home one day and told me a story. And she said, "Daddy, today, I was told when I started the class and when I started teaching that I wasn't allowed to, or wasn't allowed to ask the kids not to get more condiments than they needed. To just take 1 or 2. And she said, I noticed this young boy, when he came through the line, he was stuffing his pockets full of ketchup. And she said, now, he walked over and said, Timmy, you can't do that. You need to put some of that back. He said, yes, ma'am, Miss McGahey, I'm sorry. And he started unloading his pockets. And he looked at her and said, I was doing that because I don't have nothing at home to eat. And I was going to make tomato soup tonight for myself. That struck my heart. That struck a chord in me. That there were children. Again, Feed the Need is there doing that with the children. We're attempting to do this with families. I started really rescuing food about 2 years ago with my church. I would go and help them pick up food. They have a big food giveaway on Thursday of every week, and I would go every Friday to help them pick up food. I'd go to the Publix in St. Johns County, Walmart, Target, those places over there and pick up food. And then whatever was left, I would bring back to Putnam County. I did that for about 2.5 years. And back in, I guess it was February or so, the Honorable Tim Smith called me and he said, Ed, I've got somebody I want to introduce you to. And her name was Stephanie, and I can't remember her last name, Infante. And she wanted to introduce me to my good friend Sonny now. And together, Sonny and her husband had started Epicure over in St. Johns County, and they were wanting to move Epicure into Putnam County and help rescue food and bring things together for us over here. Back in March, Sonny called me up and she said, Ed, there's a bunch of restaurants out of business up in Jacksonville, and Feeding Northeast Florida is going to give them the food to cook and start with prepared meal or pre-prepared meals, frozen meals that we want to distribute in Putnam County. So we started Crescent City, Interlock, and all these places. We got volunteers together that they would bring the food, Feeding Northeast Florida, actually Epicure would bring the food from Feeding Northeast Florida to my office parking lot. We would distribute anywhere between 3,500 and 4,500 meals every Tuesday and get them out to shut-ins from the pandemic. And at that time, it was elderly and people, things like that couldn't get food. We'd give them each 4 meals. They'd have at least one good meal a week. And so with that, we distributed, I think, 40,000 meals, which is what happened. And that started the drive. And then Sonny and Feeding Northeast Florida was looking for a warehouse. And we found a warehouse just north of town, a 15,000 square foot warehouse. Sonny's probably going to get into all this, so I don't want to I'm just trying to get you up to speed where Sonny is at.
Set the stage.
Yes. And so we got a 15,000 square foot warehouse where we started feeding over 700 families every week. And when I say feeding, I don't mean making a meal for them. I mean, we've sat out and every week we have anywhere from 50 to 75 strong volunteers out there distributing 100 to 150 pounds of food to each family. To up to 35 and 45,000 pounds of food is being delivered to us every Friday. That doesn't include what's going to the west end of the county on Thursday mornings. There's several other places that Feeding Northeast Florida is bringing in food to us. But every week, people say all the time, you look at Facebook, is what's going on out here on North Highway 17? There's cars lined down the road. They start at 8:30 in the morning, if not early, lining up to get food. And people are coming in and getting food and taking it to other people that don't need food. They'll come in and get the food and take it to other people, take it to other families. We got people contact us on Facebook all the time. Can you bring us food? And there's a bunch of us that do that too. So with that being said, I would like to introduce Sonny Wilford to you, co-director of Epic Cure of St. John.
So we get asked a lot of times what's different about us than every other food pantry that's out there. And the answer to that is that we're an environmental cause as much as we are a people cause. So when you think about all of the food that is produced in the United States, 30 to 40% of it that is produced ends up in a landfill. So you're talking about 21% of our freshwater resources every year go to produce food that ends up getting thrown away. That includes livestock. So imagine using land, using water, using food to raise an animal, then kill it, and then throw it away when you have 1 in 6 people in the United States that don't have enough food to eat. And while that food ends up in a landfill, it creates greenhouse gases. So if food waste were a country, it would be the 3rd largest emitter of greenhouse gases in the world next to China and the United States. So we take this perfectly good food. I mean, it is beautiful food, and I've got an entire photo album. You can look on our Facebook page. We post pictures of this beautiful food that we get every week, and it's nutritious, and gallons of milk, produce. 70% I think of what we get is just beautiful produce, and so we're able to get this food and then give it away to people for free that are in need. And we have 0 qualification. So if you show up, you get food. There's no income requirements. There's no ID required. If you show up, no questions asked, with dignity and respect, we give food away to people for free. So, and you think about why is it important for us to be out here, and why is it important to support our warehouse out here? So right now, with just our little 1,500 square foot warehouse in St. Johns County, and then with the use of just the parking lot, because we haven't been able to move fully into the building because they have to replace the roof, we're running at about 375,000 pounds of food every month. And we're feeding over 8,000 families every month. And half of that is here in Putnam County. And I have letters of reference here from Feeding Northeast Florida talking about our partnership, and that they will continue to support us by providing food to make sure that we have enough to meet the need. And they're talking about in Putnam County, as one of the poorest counties in all of Florida, that the food insecurity rate is about 25%. So, when you think about that, and the fact that the solution to the problem is out there and it's free to go get it. And we are a 100% volunteer organization. So everything that we do is handled by volunteers. We pick up the food from stores, we man the warehouse, we man the distributions, and our volunteer base right now is almost 700 people, and 170 of them are in Putnam County. So when he talks about that the people show up and we have 40 to 50 volunteers on a Friday, they show up and they work hard, and we worked out in the summer in a parking lot, in 100-degree weather all summer long, and they showed up every time to make sure, because they saw the quality of the food. Like, nobody's going to work volunteering in August between 1 p.m. and 5 p.m. in the afternoon in the heat if they didn't think that food was so beautiful and so worth it, and if they didn't see the appreciation of the people that came through there. So we're just asking for support. We initially got our warehouse, and the landlord was giving it to us at $2,000 a month, but now because they have to replace the roof, it's going to cost them $60,000 or $70,000 to replace the roof, so our rent needs to go up. And so we don't have the support to pay another $4,000 a month in rent. We don't have the public support St. Augustine, our St. Augustine warehouse is barely breaking even. So the money has to come from somewhere. And so we're just asking for anybody that has the ability to help us to do that. And when we talk about we're helping 700 families a week right now, that's just scratching the surface. That's without us even trying. That's without our warehouse being operational. So our intent here is to not only serve the public, but also with Feeding Northeast Florida. And their goal for us in this warehouse is that we'll support all other food agencies in Putnam and in surrounding counties. So we'll get, sorry, I have allergies today, but we'll get food to provide to the soup kitchens and every food charity that's out there. We want to get them all working at their full capacity to help meet people's needs, and then we'll start filling in all the blanks. So right now in St. Johns County, we do 17 different distributions every week, but only one from our warehouse. The other 16 are mobile distributions. So we pack up our truck, our van, and we get out into every neighborhood. We'll park at the Section 8 housing complex every Saturday at 10 a.m., same one. Every Saturday at 2 p.m., we're at a different location. And then we have all these different church groups or community groups that work with us to run these different locations. So we have partnerships with, it's countless organizations at this point, that all have identified a need and have, raised their volunteers to go and help meet that need, and we get the food and help provide the transportation to get the food to the people. And so we'd like to do that here too. And that's our goal, is to go from 375,000 pounds a month to 3 million pounds a month. And that is not even a hard thing to achieve. The food is out there. We just need our space. We need our warehouse operational, and then we can do that in no time and then grow from there.
I'd like to say one more thing, Mayor. Maybe a few more things. You may ask as city commissioners how this is going to benefit Palatka, Florida. Okay, when she talks about, I'm just saying, I just want to put this out because she made me think about when she was talking about Section 8 housing and what have you in St. Johns County. I have talked to Ms. McCaskill a little bit about this, to you some, in passing, in general passing. But when she said that, one of the things that we have been doing is we've been partnering with the Palatka Housing Authority also. We have set up several,
Distribution.
5 or 6? 3, okay, I went deep on that. But we went to 3 mobile distributions. One was right over there right behind the Housing Authority's office. Another one we set up at the Latter-day Saints Church on St. John's Avenue to do that with, and you were there too. I'm sorry, Commissioner Board, I didn't not recommend you. I mean, recognize you because he did come out and work.
Yeah.
I teased him about working so hard. But there was that, and then the anime spells. We set up an anime spells also, and the people, when she talks about the quality of the food just surprises me. Let's just go with milk, because like I said, I was used to rescuing food that was given just kind of shoved out the back door at me, and picking up cases of milk and it being here's you a gallon of milk, but you need to use it by tomorrow. When we bring in cases of milk by the pallets, I mean literally by the pallets, it's just like picking it up in the supermarket. The date on it's like 2 weeks down the road, and you don't have to use it tomorrow. The meats, you don't have to use it tomorrow. You can put it in the freezer. Matter of fact, we're getting from the USDA right now, we're getting vegetable boxes that have potatoes, a bag of potatoes, a bag of apples, cottage cheese, sour cream, about butter, and a block of cheese, shredded cheese, yogurt, 6 things of yogurt, a gallon of milk, and 2 packs of meat, some kind of meat. Every time we bring it out, it's got some kind of pre-prepared chili. Last week was barbecue pork.
And that's just one item we give away. So that complete box is just like one of 12 things we're giving away to each family.
And so, I mean, that I just wanted to bring the Housing Authority up and what we're doing for the city of Palatka for the purpose of, there are food dependent people here. There are food that depend on us every week. When we say, I don't think we've never had a distribution, but There's times when we didn't have quite what they used to have, or, oh man, I was depending on that. I mean, we hear that all the time. And we always hear, thank you very much. I need that. You know, I mean, that's the last thing they say when we shut their doors, and it's a drive-through thing. I mean, nobody touches anything. We just put boxes in the back of the truck. We ask them, or car, we ask them to put the hood up or the trunk up and do their thing. And then when we shut the trunk on the back, that's the last thing they say. Thank y'all very much. We love y'all. And away they go, you know? So to be able to do that, you know, that it's just it's a good thing for Palatka. And that's the reason we're coming before the city council tonight, is to ask y'all if there's, you know, if there's a way that we can figure out a way that we can maybe get some monetary support from the city of Palatka.
What kind of, what type of, I guess, revenue you would probably need around about to kind of maybe assist to see what we can possibly do?
Well, I provided a budget in the packet that I sent in, and with the rent being $62.50 a month, our total operational cost is about $13,700 a month. That includes rent, utilities, dumpster service, insurance. It's, you know, like I said, we're 100% volunteer, so it's just base costs. And when you break that down, even if you broke that down into the 700 families that we're feeding right now, that equates to $3.50 per family to provide that food every week. And so that's just us starting. So then if you start factoring in, if we're starting to build up to 2,000 families a month, then that cost per family drops. But I don't know of any other program anywhere that can provide quality and quantity of food that we're able to do for $3.50 a family. When you're talking about, 70 to 100 pounds of beautiful fresh food for $3.50. It's, I don't know where else you're gonna do that.
Any other comments or questions from the commission?
Well, I'm fully on board with helping in any way we can, and myself personally as well, but because I've been part of that Northeast Florida, feeding Northeast Florida since 2016. So,
Yeah, we do have a letter of reference from them. So yeah.
right. So, in any way that we can provide whatever help from the city side, but I just have to figure out from the budgeting standpoint. I don't know. We don't have Logan on the line or anything like that to see what we could possibly do. I don't know, because they haven't really stated an amount from the city that we need, we know we can contribute. So I'll be happy to kind of help with anything the city can do.
Well, I mean, we did get the $10,000 grant from the CARES Act.
Okay.
So we have gone to the county and asked for money. We have asked, we are working with the somebody in the county trying to help us get further grants, things like that. And that's another thing. Sonny and her husband are talented grant writers. I mean, we wouldn't have made it this far had it not been for her husband. Writing the grants and getting the money. We just received a grant for a truck, a refrigerated truck to move food and things like that. Just to describe the warehouse that we're trying to build out there. Right now, we have a 40 by 40 cooler that we put in that we can take, food and store it. What we're planning on doing, when she was talking about other facility or other groups that need food, we're going to be able to take that 40 by 40 cooler and put food that needs to be distributed to them and put it in there, and they can come get it as they need it, kind of, sort of. And then there's another 10 by 20 or 20 by 20, 10 by 20 cooler that's out there that we're going to construct and put in that'll give us that much more cooler space. We're trying to get the money for a grant for a freezer to put in there so we can keep food on hand for these organizations. But we're moving along to the point that we want to be the main part of the warehouse to become a supermarket type warehouse, so that these people that are lining up and endangering themselves on the highway waiting for food won't have to do that anymore. They can make an appointment and come in and actually push a buggy around aisles and get the food that they want. And I don't mean extravagant food. I'm just talking about food to survive, but that they want and need, rather than what we're pushing out at them every week. You know what I mean? Because some families give a 10-pound bag of potatoes, that's enough to feed them for a couple of weeks. Well, then next week they got a 10-pound bag of potatoes, and they're trying to figure out what to do with it, but they eat it. I mean, that they figure it out and they get it done. Some of the vegetables, we just had boxes, half bushel boxes of squash on pallets about 2 weeks ago. Some of the most beautiful squash you've ever seen in your life. We have blackberries. We have just all kinds of just fruits and vegetables that happen there. And but we invite y'all to come out and look at the warehouse as it is now, and let us walk you around and show you our visions and show you what's going on. I mean, I can see it happening already, and I can show you in my mind what's happening in that warehouse. But one of the things that we're going to do is the groups, just to name a few, like the Bread of Life, the Soup Kitchen in Interlochen, the Heart of Putnam. People like that are going to be able to come out and get food and vegetables from us and go back and cook it and do whatever they do with their group. Wow. We just had, oh gosh, what's his name? Ted, I'm sorry?
Stackpole.
Stackpole. Ted Stackpole. He just came out last week. We had a whole pallet of diapers, and him being with the foster care group, we were available to provide that to them.
Wow.
So these are things that we're doing for our county, my county. She's coming in as an outsider from St. Johns County and helping provide these things for our county.
Next week we'll have pallets of feminine hygiene products that we'll be able to give away. And I will say we're a zero food waste facility, so anything that is not good enough for human consumption, if there's packages broken up or whatever, 100% of whatever's left goes to farms to feed animals. So
That was my question.
yeah.
So-
We work with farms here. We have farms in St. Johns County, but 100% goes to farms to feed animals.
You got a video?
Yeah, there's a video, I think.
How long is your video?
It's only 4 minutes, and this shows what we do in St. Augustine. So when he's talking about the open shopping model, that's how our warehouse in St. Augustine is set up, and we will do that here as well, on top of being able to serve the other agencies.
So-
Yeah, go ahead.
So as we play that video, I just want to commend you guys for the work that you're doing in this
Oh, yeah.
community, for the
Thank you.
commitment that
Absolutely.
it takes to organize. And it's just, I hear the passion in Ed's voice. I know how much the people in this community care to help. And, we're committed to do that. But I think one of the things that's most important is for us to look at food desert opportunities to get funding as a food desert, and to see what things are out there from the governmental side as an opportunity to kind of put some certain things in place. One of the things I love to do is maybe assist in creating the coalition of organizations that work. It seems like you already got the team together in the framework so that you have a coalition of these organizations within Putnam, which are kind of doing some of the same things from a shared services standpoint, and see what we can get, whether it's by way of appropriations or any other way, to work so that cumulatively we've got a core together of people who are committed to the same efforts. And so I think one of the next steps is to meet with the city manager, as well as community affairs, and our grant writers to see, and maybe even our lobbyists to see if there's some funding opportunities that exist throughout the state for our organizations within this community that are taking on the issues of food desert as well as homelessness, and some of the other things that are out there, so that we can start to come up with a succinct plan on how we can move forward in the future as a whole.
We would love that. So my husband and I started this not even 2 years ago, and we're completely new to the nonprofit world and grant writing, but we're learning by fire. So, but
I think we can all share in the efforts, and I definitely applaud. I applaud you for a tremendous job that you're doing. And it's just amazing that within our community, we've got organizations like the two that are represented here today who have literally taken the bull by the horns and put themselves in a position where they are feeding the multitude. And so we just really thank you for that. We want to give you a round of applause. And I think the stage.
So, say one more thing, and I promise I won't stay long. The warehouse, one of the visions of the warehouse is that it's also going to be a hub for the surrounding counties to us too. So I mean, in the future, we may be able to go to those counties and get help from them too.
Right.
But the plan that Sonny laid out, and I'm thinking if a nonprofit can do this and make a model of it, it'd be a model for the industries that would come in, that we talk about Palatka being a hub. We look forward to supplying food to Clay County, Bradford County, St. Johns County, Flagler County, Volusia, and our neighbor in Alachua.
Well, we've seen some innovative, within the Florida League of Cities, we've seen some innovative ways in which folks are attacking food deserts and creating coalitions. And so I would definitely love to kind of set up a meeting where we talk to organizations which have kindred spirits and see what we can put together for this community that aligns with your vision.
Well, yeah,
So-
already on November, every week, we're going to be a hub, where Feeding Northeast Florida is going to be bringing out a semi-truck full of food that the other agency partners of theirs can shop from. So it's going to be every Thursday, starting on the 15th. So it'll be at our warehouse there, where they just put it down and all the agencies get to shop for free. And they get to take whatever they need, and then we keep whatever's left and give it away.
Yeah, we just recently partnered with Farm Share. Mr. Cutright set that up. And so we'd love to have the opportunities to kind of, to get together.
Yeah, the
And
difference between Farm Share and Feeding Northeast Florida is Farm Share is all new purchase food, and Feeding Northeast Florida is all rescued food. Although they do have government contracts to purchase some farm overstock food, but that's the difference between those two.
right. Commissioner Campbell, were you about to say something?
I was gonna see if it will be possible that we set a time frame that we be able to at least have that initial meeting, so that we won't lose the momentum, as both you and Commissioner Bourne say, and I won't echo it again, but this is very beneficial to Palatka and the Putnam County community. And of course, we want to do absolutely everything that we can, not only as a commission, but individuals within this community, to make sure that this program or what they have to offer is continued. But again, I don't want to continue to kick the can down the road. If we can kind of go ahead and set something concrete, or if we can have Attorney Holmes appoint someone to be a point of contact for or liaison between those individuals, so that we would be able to go ahead and get that ball rolling to see what it is that we can do, from the city standpoint.
So let's send it to we're gonna send it to the city manager and community affairs, which is Eddie Cutright, who you just met. And let's see what we can do to put together a meeting and maybe even a workshop as we move forward. And so and we definitely appreciate you. We want to show the video and then we want to move on. We want to move on.
This video was done in January, pre-COVID, so there's no mask, there's no gloves,
All right.
no anything. And this was back when we were doing 70,000 pounds a month. And now we're doing 375,000 pounds. That's how much we've grown since January.
That's your story.
And yeah,
And she's sticking to it.
and there's so much more out there. I mean, just so much more.
Oh,
But we see the cars out there,
Wow.
and I know oftentimes people are wondering what's going on. We see cars all the way back to GP Road.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
And so definitely we appreciate you.
Well, we're on board.
And again, thank you very much.
Thank you for
Thank
the
y'all for your
opportunity.
time.
Yeah, I'm getting another story.
Epicure is a 501c3 nonprofit that was founded in 2018 by myself and 4 other board members. We founded it to end food waste and fight hunger, and we started as a 100% volunteer organization, and we still are today.
Epicure is trying to feed as many people as we can, but in doing so, we are trying to stop the waste. If the waste were a country, all of the waste there is, it would be 3rd in the world for emissions.
When you hear all the statistics about 30 to 40% of food ending up in landfills, while 1 in 6 people in America don't have enough food to eat, when you start researching those facts, it's 100% true.
4 days a week, we pick up from Winn-Dixie's. We have volunteers that take their personal vehicles, or we'll take our refrigerated van and go do those pickups.
About 32% of the people that receive food from us are children. About 18% are people with disabilities, and another 28% are seniors. 5% of the people we serve are active military or veterans.
Each week, we feed about 150 to about 180 families. We are able to give about 50 pounds of food to each of those households, and we've gotten that cost to under $3 per family.
Epicure is a lifesaver. It was for us. I found the volunteers here have been very kind and respectful.
Preservation of peace, preservation of dignity. Those are the main things that we're trying to accomplish in each and every one of our distributions. It goes right to the fact that when we send our shoppers through our warehouse, they are allowed to choose the food they want to have. If we gave them a package of food, a third of it might go in the landfill because they don't want it. Allowing them to go through the line, choose their own stuff, it's another way of preserving their dignity, giving them a sense of empowerment. They're important to us.
The whole difference for me in many of the programs I've worked in is that these are people who are coming that are in need, great need, and they come and they meet people who have a smile, welcome them, and they feel like a true human being that has a lot of worth but is just in need.
While most of the food that we receive is free, operating costs are not. So we still have rent, we still have utilities, we have supplies. And so we really need a steady donor base, I guess, to help us cover those costs. And the more of a donor base that we get, then the more we can expand to help more people.
In order for us to continue, we need your help. We need it for refrigerators, we need it for vans, we need to expand the warehouse.
Since we began in May of 2019, we have rescued and distributed over 400,000 pounds of food, and we currently serve about 1,500 families every month.
Every little bit helps. It doesn't matter the amount. It's all put to good use, so we'll never turn it away. As little as $3 can feed a family for a week. Every little bit helps.
Wow is exactly right. So definitely, we're looking forward to using our best efforts to try to see what we can do to help really close a gap that's necessary in our community, particularly for so many citizens within this community who live below the poverty line or right at the poverty line. And so it's going to take a hand from everybody to be more engaged. So I think this commission will make a personal commitment to come out and volunteer and definitely be ever present in some of the things that are going on as it relates to feeding this community. And we will definitely be engaged in that. And so moving forward in the agenda at this time, we'll move to item number 7. And we've got 2 speaker cards on item number 7. And it's direction from the commission to reevaluate reopening and the issuance of special event permits. So we've made a commitment about a month ago that at every meeting, we're going to look at what the current climate is as it relates to COVID-19, where we are from as a community, and also what is the turns that have been taken, or what turns have been taken statewide as it relates to the curve, for lack of any other term. And so that's where we are today. The position of the commission has been to suspend special events until such time that there's been some medical breakthrough or some other flattening of the curves, because we want to err on the side of caution as opposed to being a catalyst for additional waves of COVID coming through our community. And so I've got a couple speakers that I'll let talk first, and then we'll deliberate from there. First up is Ms. Denise Bramlett. Vito will go first. Mr. Russo,
Yes, sir.
under public comment, you're limited to 3 minutes.
Thank you.
And if the bell rings,
Don't worry. I'll be
time
fine.
is.
Vito Russo, 415 Image Street. Before I get into the music festival, I would like to say there's a special place in heaven for Denise, Sonny, Ed, and all those volunteers. So, the Palatka, I'm up here about the music festival, as everybody knows. So let me just say a few things and I'll let you deliberate. The Palatka Porch Fest Music Festival has been a success only because it's a community effort. All parts of the community contribute. If they did not, then the music festival wouldn't work. Palatka Porch Fest Music Festival, beautiful community event that we'd all would prefer it would happen this year, but it must happen safely. So the challenge we face is how can we make, put on the festival and make it a public safe event. So we must come up with a solution because COVID-19 is here to stay for at least a few years. Are we going to have any public events next year? The Aaleeyah Festival is only 3 months after the Palatka Porch Fest Music Festival. And I think simply waiting for a vaccine is a mistake because a vaccine is not a silver bullet. A vaccine only inoculates people for one strain of the virus. In the 1918 influenza outbreak, there was at least 3. And of course, we also had a situation where some folks are going to be scared of taking the vaccine and they just won't take it. So if we're going to have any public events next year, or even the year after, we need to develop measures to protect the public health. So what we did was we contacted Mary Garcia at the health department and we spoke about safety guidelines and how to achieve crowd control. I spoke with Chief Shaw, ran some ideas by him and received some positive feedback from him. So some of these safety guidelines that the South Historic Neighborhood Association would employ at the music festival are as follows. So the best way to achieve crowd control is at the perimeter, before the folks even enter the neighborhood. So at each of the 10 entry points, potential entry points, most of them are going to be on the north side, but we would have volunteers there with digital thermometers checking everyone coming in and requiring everyone to wear a mask. We would have, from the county has offered to give us all the masks that we need. So we would have masks available for anyone who showed up. So if they would have a temperature or not want to wear a mask, we would ask them to leave. And we will be advertising these requirements in advance of the music festival. Once inside the neighborhood, we would have hand washing stations throughout the neighborhood. We would have hand sanitizers at every table, yard signs asking folks to socially distance, musicians asking folks to, let me go just a second.
You're right.
Asking folks to keep their distances. We'd have the musicians to keep an eye on the crowds and making sure that the distances were maintained and calling out folks that didn't do it. And then lastly, we would cancel the evening part of the festival, which is the headliner, between 5 and 7. And so because we feel like it would be dark and it would be hard for crowd control as people were coming in. So the festival would end the same time it ended last year at 4:30. So these steps can be considered a first draft of best management practices for public health at a public event. And we're open to any suggestion that the city commission may have to help us make the festival a successful event that the community so dearly needs after 7, 8, 9, 10 months. So currently, I would say the last point is currently the Palatka Porch Fest Music Festival is a much smaller festival than the well-established Aaleeyah or the Bluecraft festivals. So it would be much easier for us to evaluate how the public complies to these crowd control public safety measures and how they could possibly be employed for the much larger festival that's coming up, which is going to be the Aaleeyah. So the music festival is 30 days away. And we would really like to know what the intent would be of the city commission regarding the special event permit and the CRA grant. So,
Thank you.
and no matter what you guys decide, we appreciate you listening and we will comply.
Next up, Ms. Bramlett.
My name is Denise Bramlett. I live at 245 River Drive, East Palatka, and I'm on behalf of being a recipient with Feed the Need from the Porch Fest. I want to just share that for the last 2 years, the Porch Fest has generated through donations back to Feed the Need. We have advocated in the community about awareness of the food. We currently serve about 800 children every weekend with backpack food going home through the school district. And we rely on 100% of volunteers. We've been a nonprofit for 3 years. Unlike Sunny, I never knew the nonprofit world. 41 years owning my business here in town. I learned to write grants. And with the division, where God has put us, I feel that we are supplying a demand that's needed in our community. Last year at Porch Fest, we received over 500 jars of jelly. And that doesn't sound like a lot, but when we have a peanut butter and jelly drive going, it's a lot. We had cash donations given that day, plus the Porch Fest donated back. But more so because of the advertisement that was in the paper and because of the community connection, we had a donor deliver a $1,200 check to Porch Fest on behalf to Feed the Need. I knew the donor, he donates to Feed the Need regularly, and I said, why did you donate to Porch Fest? He said, we want to be supportive of our community, not just to Feed the Need, but to the event. So the event has a social for our community, especially in the last 7-8 months what's been happening. I hope that the safety measures that they put through would be in place that would allow the event to happen. The other recipient this year that's going to be from the Porch Fest that I know you all are well aware of them is Jobs for Florida Graduates. They presented the city commission before. They are a great organization, and Porch Fest revenue is going to supply socks and underwear to go to the JFG school pantry that we have with Feed the Need, and also their clothing closet. So please consider the event. There's a lot of benefits, not just from visitors coming, but nonprofits like myself that will be a recipient of the event. And thank you for your time.
Thank you. Any thoughts from the commission? So let me share some numbers with you so that you'll have it as you begin to deliberate. The COVID numbers for the last week in Florida, 2,504 cases. Following day, 6,495 cases, 2,679 cases, 4,566 cases, 4,075 cases, 375 cases, and yesterday, 6,164 cases. Since the last time we got a request for Porch Fest, we've had 4 deaths. There was 5 on the books, and today, they removed 1 death as a COVID-related death right here in Putnam County. And so just so that you have the information locally as it pertains to the cases, I think today's report was 11 cases of COVID. and the removal of the one death.
Yeah, we got 2 came in yesterday, correct?
Correct. And so, like everybody else, I'm tired of being in the house myself. I've sat and talked on multiple occasions over the last week with the new group Step by Step in town that does counseling, intensive counseling and various forms of counseling for families, children, as well as some other individuals within this community who talk about the psychological aspects of COVID, something that I've discussed with Chief Shaw extensively. We're all tired of sitting in the house. We're all tired of wearing masks and shields. But for me, individually on this commission, I would rather err on the side of caution. Nothing that I heard today sways my sentiments of For Porch Fest or Feed the Need. I think they are both great events and organizations within our community, which will still be great events in our community and still have the same fundraising capacity in the spring as it does in this winter. And so my recommendation to the commission is that for the sake of us continually looking at what seems to be the inevitable every 2 weeks, that we just postpone all special events for 2020 and start over in 2021 and reevaluate. Any other comments from the commission?
Well, I share that same sentiment. We're still getting the positivity rate is still going up from the other week. It went up, 3 or 4 percentage points. So I know we got people who are really eager to open up events again, but at the same time, we need to think about the health and safety of not just our own, but of others. We've had a number of people who have constantly either were sick, recovered. Some people died. I've had family members to die from it. Some family members, close calls. And when people recover from COVID, they have some stories to tell. So you probably want to think about safety. And so from my aspect of it, I share the same sentiment as the mayor. I think we should push this out until January 2021 before we make any more decisions around it.
Anyone else on the commission? If there are no other comments, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to suspend all special events until January 2021.
Second.
There's a motion on the floor in a second. Is there anyone else here for public comment? The number is 329-0100, or you can fill out a speaker card.
Did somebody second?
Yes, Commissioner Campbell.
Second. Is there anything in the chat?
None at this time, Mayor.
At this time, we'll close public comment. Question will be called. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. So as of this time, we will reconvene at our first meeting in January with our considerations for COVID. Moving the agenda to our next item, which is item number 8 of the agenda, an ordinance 20-09, amending Appendix A fee schedule of the municipal code of the city of Palatka as it pertains to fees and other charges relating to Chapter 66 solid waste garbage containers, Chapter 86 utilities, providing for severability and providing for an effective date. Ms. Krantz.
An ordinance of the city of Palatka, Florida, amending Appendix A, the fee schedule of the municipal code of the city of Palatka as it pertains to fees and other charges relating to Chapter 86 utilities and providing for severability, correction of Scrivener's errors, and providing an effective date.
Second.
There's a motion on the floor in a second. We're now open the floor. Public hearings, or anyone here for public hearing? Again, the number is 386-329-0100, extension 0, or you can fill out a speaker's card as it relates to this item. You also have the ability to use the YouTube chat function. The floor is now open for public hearing. Is there anything in the YouTube chat?
None at this time, Mayor.
We'll now close public hearing. Is there any further discussion from the commission?
Question.
Questions called, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries unanimously. Moving on to item number 9 of the agenda, an ordinance annexing and rezoning 146 Comfort Road, Palatka, Florida, from Putnam County Industrial Heavy IH to City of Palatka Neighborhood Commercial C-1A, case PB 20-2, applicant Rural Health Care Incorporated, second reading. Item A is annexation ordinance 20-06 for second reading.
Ordinance of the City of Palatka, Florida, annexing into the corporate limits of the City of Palatka, Florida, certain adjacent territory identified as 146 Comfort Road, Palatka, Florida 32177, a part of Lot 71, Stinwell Suburban Farms, Map Book 2, page 39, Official Records 1073, page 659, Map Sheet 37E, Public Records of Putnam County, Florida, contiguous to the boundaries of the City of Palatka, Florida, and providing for an effective date.
So moved.
Second.
So motion on the floor in a second. We're now open the floor for public hearing. If you want to hear for public hearing, if so, fill out the yellow speaker's card. Also, you can use the YouTube chat function or dial 386-329-0100 extension 0. We're now open for public hearing. Is there anything in the chat?
None at this time, Mayor.
This time we'll close public hearing. Any further discussion?
Question.
Questions called, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries unanimously. Moving on, item B, rezoning ordinance 20-08, second reading.
An ordinance of the City of Palatka, Florida, providing that the official zoning map of the City of Palatka, Florida be amended from Putnam County Industrial Heavy IH to City of Palatka Neighborhood Commercial District C-1A for the following property: 146 Comfort Road, part of Lot 71, Stinwell Suburban Farms, Map Book 2, page 39, Official Records Book 1073, page 659, Map Sheet 37E, providing for severability and providing for an effective date.
So moved.
Second.
There's a motion on the floor in a second. We'll now open the floor for public hearing. If you want to hear for public hearing, same options apply. Is there anything in the YouTube chat?
None at this time, Mayor.
At this time, we'll close public hearing. Questions called, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries unanimously. Moving on to city manager and administrative reports, Mr. Holmes.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'll start by mentioning that we had a very successful trunk or treat event on Halloween. I'll let Jason, the Chief Shaw, provide the details, although I think all of you know the details because almost all of you were present at the event. But I think I'll just sum by saying I thought it was an extremely successful event, and I appreciate the efforts of everyone involved on behalf of the city and the other organizations that participated in providing an event for those who were looking to do something on Halloween and try to do it in a safe fashion. I'll let the chief give you details or provide details to the public. And I think all of you who are there understand the size and magnitude of the event. I think it probably exceeded the expectations of all of us. And I think maybe the success of it and the organization and the way it was handled probably exceeded our expectations too. Other than that, Ms. Thompson is not available right now. So Robinson, I'm sorry, is not available right now. So I'll give you a brief update. We have hired a planning clerk who will begin Monday. We've also hired a planning director who will begin on the 16th. I'm very excited with both of those hires. That'll fill two pieces of the puzzle that I think will be very important to us as we are completing our staffing and looking forward to moving forward in an efficient and effective and productive way here at the city. And aside from that, I have nothing to report right now.
Thank you, Mr. Holmes. Any questions for Mr. Holmes? Seeing none. Mr. Cutright, I see you're unmuted.
Oh, I have nothing to add at this time.
All right, Mr. Cutright, give us a little overview of, since you don't have anything to add, tell us about soccer.
Repeat that, Mayor.
You can tell us something about soccer.
Oh, okay. Well, we have soccer for the youth on Saturday mornings at Fred Green Park. We got about 50-some kids signed up, and they've been going on now for about 3 weeks. We have 8 teams total, with about 7 kids on each team. The ages are 2 all the way up to 11-year-old, different ages that ain't all playing together. But it's a wonderful thing. I think the parents are out there. We got a lot of parent support. The kids are having a blast. It's 3-on-3. We try to keep the parents outside the field, or outside the soccer field, so they're out of bounds on the fence, cheering for their child. So we're trying to keep some social distance with that. Everything is going pretty well. I've not had any negative feedback from it, but who knows how that might go. But right now, I think it's a positive thing. We just started signing up for flag football, same concept of 5-on-5. And we are right now, we open registrations today, and we have 25 kids already signed up. So I think that's a pretty good turnout for a one-day open event. That will be done in the January timeframe. We're looking at around January the 16th timeframe when we actually kick that off. I have to add to the sentiments of Mr. Holmes. Trunk or Treat was a wonderful success. The Powell Athletic League and the police department did a great thing. It was very nice. It was a long day for me, but I enjoyed it. So I really want to say thank you for a wonderful job, the police department and the Powell Athletic League. And other than that, that's it.
Thank you, Mr. Cutright. I'm glad you didn't have anything to say.
Well,
Next up.
What time on Saturdays do you play?
What time do you play on Saturday? You start at 8 or 9?
We start at 8. We start at 9 o'clock. We start setting up at 8:30, but the kids start at 9. And what we do is it's a 30-minute practice and then a 30-minute game. So if you start at 9, you practice to 9:30. Then we go into a 30-minute, 15-minute half games for each age group.
Thank you, Ms. Becker.
Nothing for finance, sir.
Wow, Mr. Griffith.
Nothing to report, sir.
Chief Taylor.
Yes, sir. We got 3 new rookies working on shift, and they're getting their feet wet. Hopefully they'll work out great. And that's about it for us.
Yes, I think so.
Thank you. All right, Chief Shaw, can you hear me?
Yes, I can, Mayor.
All right, Chief Shaw, job well done on Trunk or Treat. It was an awesome event, and it was extremely creative. And I want you to at least give us, talk about the sponsors that were there. I think it was a wonderful group of sponsors that came in. We were extremely spaced out, and I think we were all thinking cars would never stop coming through. And I never believed that we would be using 4-inch PVC pipe in that manner. So just give a shout out to some of the sponsors if you can, Chief.
Sure, Mayor. I'd love to. First, before I get started, if I could, I would like to first thank all the department heads for participating and helping out with the event. for everyone who lended a hand in planning and setting up. A big shout out one to Winston for his assistance, not only on Friday with our setup, but Saturday as well, setting up for the event. The other two individuals for the city I like to recognize is Toby Williams and Matt Newcomb. Both did a wonderful job in making sure that we got together, reached out not only to the community, but was very open in communication throughout the city and making sure that we were able to deliver a very safe and fun and successful event. As for the event itself, this year, as you know, for the challenge we had with COVID-19, we decided to change up our trunk or treat event a little bit and make it a little safe and making sure we had spacious and creative to be able to deliver something to the community that would allow them to still be able to participate in Halloween, so to speak, in a safe manner. One of the things that we had, again, as you mentioned, was the 6-foot, 4-inch PVC pipe that allowed us to deliver the candy to the vehicles without having to come in contact with the individuals. But going into that, some of the sponsors was Cricket, Palatka Pow, PHA, the fire department, streets, Sheriff's Office, Hope FM, St. John Chevrolet,
Step by Step,
Step by Step, Will Jones. Help me if I'm forgetting anyone outside the police department.
That might have been St. John's Auto Body.
I'm sorry, yes, that's correct. St. John's Auto Body. Yes, you're correct. Thank you.
and Lowe's.
And Lowe's. Lowe's was an enormous help. Lowe's provided us with the material to be able to use the chutes. They made the chutes for us as well as decorated for them. A tremendous event. We had, as you said, vehicles that seemed like they would go on forever, but the enthusiasm from everyone that participated, from everyone that came out and received candy, it was great. It was a wonderful event. I'm very pleased with how it turned out and the success of it. And there's not much more I can say. It was once again, Trunk or Treat has become what we call record breaking. And every year it sets a tone and delivers something new for the city. And it makes us all proud all over again by just showing what Palatka can do when it comes out.
And there was a tie this year for the two hypest commissioners. I think Commissioner McCaskill took over Commissioner Borum's spot this year. She had cars going 10 feet around just so they could get her out of the way. She was in the middle of the road. So I've never seen her this hyper. So for those of you who've never seen it, you missed it. She was 600 cars in by the time she got tired.
COVID related.
Just a wonderful event overall. You got anything else, Chief?
Last, again, I'd like to thank all of the commissioners, one for helping at the event and for giving us direction and helping us to make sure that we delivered a safe event to the community. So I thank all of you for your assistance and as well as for your participation.
Thank you.
Mayor, just talk about like somewhat of an estimate of the number of cars that was wrapped from the mall parking lot, filled up with cars lined up all the way to past about 100, up 100 a little bit.
We're gonna need traffic control and we have to do it again.
Yeah.
I think Captain Williams estimated to be over 600 cars with an average of 4 children per car coming out for the event. And it completely surpassed our expectations. The scary part was Don Holmes was having so much fun. He was thinking of the next event. And so he was about an hour in and he's like, hey, I got another idea. We're like, hey, slow down. But it was a good event for the kids. So we definitely understand the sentiments of everyone in this community who are trying to find ways just to creatively do something. And, while we vote to really not have special events, if someone has a creative, safe way that comes up, think of something and we're open. So just get with the city manager.
What time did they start getting busy? I remember driving by.
From 6 p.m.
Yeah, about
all the
6.
way to 9 o'clock. We went 1 hour
It was
over the
nonstop.
event.
Really?
Yeah, the whole time. And,
So
and Sonny was Sonny was the featured person at the
calls
Cinderella.
back to Moody Road. Sonny was a cross between Gone with the Wind and Cinderella.
Mr. Mayor, I will mention that we bagged about 1,400 bags of candy. We probably would have bagged a number of bags more, but Mr. Cutright and Sonny and I were bagging on Saturday, and all the candy wasn't making it past Mr. Cutright for us to put in the bags. I just
Don't comment, Eddie. It's a setup. It's a setup. Don't comment.
I cannot, I'm sorry, I cannot not say anything because that is not the total truth. By my recollection, he ate just as many pieces of candy as I did. So I think it was a combination of both of us. The one that saved us was Sonny. But can I add one thing before we leave that? I want to actually thank the Tillman House, Mr. Neeson,
The Art League.
Art League, and also we got a young group called Step by Step. Desiree Jones, her organization came out and supported us wholeheartedly. So I definitely want to make sure I mention them. Nicole Grace helped bag candy, keep putting the beautiful, and also Denise Akins. She donated almost $300 worth of candy to the cultural arts side. So we had a great turnout. We had a lot of support. So I want to make sure I mention them in this live forum. All right.
Yeah, the Arts Council's highlight was we had someone come by playing "Beat It" by Michael Jackson, and they started line dancing, and so they were loving it, and so it was just a great event all the way around. And so we just thank everybody. Next up, Ms. Illegal, Ms. Thomas.
Nothing at this time, Mayor.
Commissioner Borum.
I just want to again reiterate thanking everybody for the wonderful event that was put on. That was truly a masterpiece, especially with the pandemic, with how everything was orchestrated. One last thing, and Miss Sonny Krantz, I thought she was in Hollywood. As many people stopped to take pictures of her. I mean, I'm telling you, they had it lit up out there like the 4th of July of taking pictures. So she played her role. So that's all I have. Thank everybody for everything that they did, all the contributors.
Commissioner Campbell.
I too want to say thank you to everyone that participated, even though I was not able to be as active as I wanted to. As soon as I walked out, Commissioner McCaskill first question, are you supposed to be out the house? So I thank everyone who was concerned to make sure that I was able to still participate in the event and able to enjoy everything. I would so agree with Attorney Hill, Mayor Hill, that Miss Tammy was probably one of the hypest out there. Commissioner Warm, he brought the organization, but Commissioner McCaskill, she was the hypest.
Title has been passed on. Commissioner McCaskill.
Oh, okay. Just want to thank everyone for coming out in the event. I think I was the hypest because it brings out the true kid in me. And I was next to Cinderella, who also found her slipper this year. So just thank everyone, Mr. Police Athletic Lead, Chief Shaw, City Attorney, City Manager Holmes, and staff. You all knocked this one at the park this year. Great job. Thanks again.
Vice Mayor.
I want to thank them for the great job they did. And I'd like to say that my replacement is here. I have one more, well, this meeting, when it ends, I have one more meeting and the swearing in. But folks, I'll be watching. I may be sitting right back there with Allegra, so don't think I'm gone.
Oh my.
Two of them. It's gonna be 2 of them.
Double trouble. That's scary.
That's all.
I mean, there's not much to say. That event was a true testament to teamwork within the city of Palatka, as well as collaboration with various organizations throughout the city. today, hearing from our community partners who work tirelessly to make things better for our citizens, it's all worthwhile. I think we've all spent the last few months, weeks, year, whatever it is, really stuck in positions where we're dealing with social justice, social issues, things that have divided America to the extent that we almost seem like we're in a civil war. But when you hear the testaments of people in this community who really care, you realize that better days are coming and we're truly better together. As we all sit around the TV and we're tired of talking about the presidential election and all the other things that go on, we need to think about how great this community could be, how great this community is when we all come together from different walks of life with different political views, different thought processes and one faith. And how if we all come together for the common cause of helping our fellow man, just how beautiful the gem city of the St. Johns River really is. When we divide ourselves based upon things that allow us not to have empathy and understanding or even unity, we get caught up on winning. We miss who we really are. And so my challenge to this entire community is we need to heal by learning, by listening, by empathizing, and we need to all band together on a daily basis like we do when we come together for projects and events. And if we can do that, then the Gem City will shine, and the last true snapshot of old Florida will be the best snapshot of what a unified community can do together with a diverse group of people working on common ground. That's my comments for tonight. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.